I met Glen at my local library. He works there and he recommended some good books on permaculture. We were hitting it off so well. It was so cute. He offered me to come back to the staff break room and have a Nescafe. I said I'd love to meet him another time, so he offered a meal at his. He prepared like a hearty old family recipe and even used veggies from his community garden. He lives in a share house, so he even made enough for everyone just in case they wanted. How did you find the meal? Really good. Thank you for asking and checking on me. That's cute. You really seem to keep an eye on me. Well, yeah, I really value good, healthy, and yummy food. And if you're also happy, that's great. Big three. The big three? Healthy, delicious, and you're happy. Funny how we like to list things in threes. They also say that the triangle is the strongest shape in nature. I like that. Huh, that's true. Well, how do you feel about AI? I think AI is a useful tool, but I don't like that it's not in the best interests of the people who use it. I'm skeptical of the biases in it. It's owned by megacorps who are making it less open sourced and more opaque in their configurations. And what are your thoughts about its impact on climate? Well, the whole reason why we're in this position with climate is because of unchecked capitalism, continuously generating more and more and more, and for what? We have so much money and less community. The more the private companies dictate what we need to buy and how often, the more resources we churn through for the purposes of capital. There should be a right to repair technology, not need to buy new products every 2 years. Holy shit, I think I'm falling for him. I mean, even these social media megacorps are exploiting the thing we value most, community and connection, for their benefit and their business friends, to the expense of the environment and the workers and the users they exploit. They don't give back, they only take and extract. And to their benefit, the more divided we are, the more customers they have. Yeah, and you can see that how that's affected as well the way that we live. So some people prefer to live alone to living in a share house, but it's getting harder to live alone. So what do you think about rent and housing affordability? Just to be blunt, well, it's of course the government's job to take care of its citizens and make sure there have been houses made and plans to dedicate housing for the people. Put up an infrastructure bank where we dedicate funds to the construction of shared and public infrastructure. Or even support Australia Post in the rural and regional areas by making them a people's bank, so people in rural areas can still have access to cash and not have to use the big central banks all the time for everything. With houses, if we can't house them, then people can't wash, rest, and be happy and healthy enough to be productive and connected members of society. That's a basic need, like universal health, Medicare, Obamacare, all of that. If we didn't lock down over the pandemic and limit how many people would die, we'd have less people working today and so much grief and sadness for the people we would have unnecessarily lost.
I just saw a tweet from the New South Wales Libertarians saying that day one, what they do if they got in is, cut the NDIS, cut the Department of Education, cut taxpayer-funded abortions, cut the NBN, like cut Australia Post, cut the Department of Health. Like that would literally kill people. How is that a response to the cost of living crisis, making everything that you do more expensive, getting rid of your access to healthcare, getting rid of everything that we need to survive, the only kind of things that aren't profit driven.
The idea of cutting valuable services to people and thinking that that's going to improve the cost of living, that's going to improve society, it seems to be in la la land. The idea that if we assist people with greater education, we are going to improve productivity. We're going to improve standards of living. We know that education raises standards of living. We know education raises productivity. So to be cutting in education, to be cutting in women's reproductive health rights, and we know that women's reproductive health has a big bearing on their productivity in the workforce, which again comes down to our cost of living. So I think, certainly maybe these are not cuts that you would necessarily agree with, Jordan, but the notion of cutting some of these most basic services and expecting a better result seems fanciful.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So how do you feel about guns? If we regulate the use of guns only for protecting our way of life and for agriculture, yes. Okay, mega segue. What about trans rights?
Oof, this one made him uncomfortable.
I think trans people should be treated with respect and supported to live healthy lives in a way that they can give back to their communities. But I think this is a fringe bourgeois idea, and people should focus on making the world a better place before thinking about attacking their bodies with experimental surgeries and cosmetic medicine. Considering the slowing birth rate, if people turn trans and gay, we're not going to have enough people breeding to continue on the roles we need for a healthy, functioning society. It's going to be a really sad state without future generations, people not having one for the country. So after dinner, he told me his housemate would be coming home later. He's vegan and fights for animal rights and justice. Is only working at the zoo at the moment to fight it from the inside. Ultimately, he says animals shouldn't be caged and exploited for tourism and money. I was really attracted to his, strength and strong values and how he cares about the people around him. The food was warm and nourishing, but a bit dry. Didn't really have any sauce or gravy. He offered me to stay and gave me a homebrew to share with his housemates. When it was time for me to go home, he gave me a map of the bus routes back to my place. He also suggested I help him clean up after dinner, which was unusual, but gave me some sort of communal joy.